I mean, this race captured my imagination literally about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's been one of those things that's just been in the back of my mind for a really long time, but it's never quite felt like the right time. I mean, I live in Sheffield and have the Peak on my doorstep. I've spent my life going to the lakes, but I think the Scottish Hills Mountains, they're just, yeah, on another level. I think it's, yeah, hills on steroids. So I think, yeah, this event just drew me to that sort of thing. I think when something really is intimidating and makes you gulp, and yeah, I find that quite appealing. And then when you're out in it, I feel like I'm feeling a bit nervous now, but once you're out in it, it will just be getting your head down, stomping up the hills, and yeah. I've never done a stage race. I've done a few like multi-day things that have either been kind of self-supported or dragging in my incredibly generous family and friends to come and support me. But so I'm yeah, definitely quite comfortable with going multiple days on. But yeah, I've never done this sort of thing, which is definitely it's been a big eye opener, because I think you then get the camp life, which has been like such a massive highlight. I had this bit of an injury before earlier this year, which is like a chronic thing, and I really genuinely thought that I might not be able to get to the start line, and then I still thought if I got to the start line I might, be a couple of days in and have to sack it. And I think from that point of view, but also just generally, you think you've just got to chunk it. I was thinking about it today, and it kind of reminds me of when you've got a bit of a brutal run of like shifts coming up, and you just like can't think of the last ones. You have to just think of like one at a time. And I think if I allow myself to sort of think about the end, then you just gotta one day at a time. Well, not even one day at a time, like one climb at a time. Just yeah.
My name's Natalya Kennedy. I'm a GP and I am the medical director for Ourea events, and essentially this rabble on this event, Cape Wrath 2025, I am working in event control with Abby, who's our event control lead, so I'm basically supporting her with what she does. It looks like we're sat in a dark tent watching darts, which we do, but there's a bit of an art to dot watching. So the trackers we use on this event only update every 15 minutes. They're satellite trackers because there's so much area of poor mobile phone coverage. And so there's quite a lot of sort of detective work that goes into why a tracker might be not tracking properly, why someone might be in trouble and slowing down, speeding up. If they press their SOS button, what might be going on in terms of, are they off route, are they on steep ground, do we think they've injured themselves, have they stopped moving, are they starting moving? And there's that kind of two-way communication with the participants to try and establish what's wrong, and if they need a rescue, what sort of rescue. So that's the kind of safety element of it. But then also in event control, we are looking at the logistics of the wider event and how that works on the course. So anything from when the MPV drivers need to turn up to pick up participants, if they're stopping or if they're starting at a different place on the Explorer course, whether the catering team needs to hold back meals for people who are late on the hill, whether it's staff or whether it's competitors. It just helps the whole organisational element of it go a lot more smoothly. To be honest, the stories that I really like are the people that didn't know each other at the start, and then you notice they kind of maybe start running together day 3 because one of them has stopped for a bit, and you think, ooh, maybe they're a bit sore, and then they pick up another person and they go together. And those are the people you get walking across Sandwood Bay at the end, holding hand and bursting into tears at the lighthouse, and literally made a friend for life. And you can see it on the trackers, and it takes a bit of imagination. They're small dots on the page, but anyone who's watched a friend run a race like this with a tracker has probably done that detective work to a certain extent themselves. So the way you get through this event, if you are not a flying front runner, is by getting your camp admin absolutely dialed, because time and time again we see people getting to kind of cut-off points which are there from a safety point of view, because the safety infrastructure has to move forward with the race as well. and you look at the tracker and you realise they started at 8 o'clock when they could have started at 7, and they've missed the cut-off by 5 minutes. It's heartbreaking. So if you're a faff the night before and get out early. And I sympathise because I'm a terrible faffer. But if you can get your camp admin dialed, you don't need to be that fast. You just need to be consistent.
My name's Anthony, but I just get called Ant by everyone. I've been looking at the event for maybe about 18-20 months to do it for my 40th. So I knew that this was what I wanted to do. So the second registration opened, I just fired my name in. I don't know. I think I've heard people say that they've maybe struggled with 40 as a year, and as I was sort of creeping through my late 30s, I just thought to myself, do you know what? That's not going to be me. I'm not gonna have an issue or make an issue of like reaching another decade. So I'm going to mark it with the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life physically, and do it, and then be like, yeah. So 40 was nothing. It's just a number. It brings it all together, doesn't it? Like I've done stuff that's, you know, difficult in its own way for different reasons, but you know, that combination of the physical requirement, but the duration, and so therefore the mental grind that comes on top of that is, yeah, bringing that all together makes this the most challenging thing I've ever done. Yeah, I'm very much like next mile, next checkpoint. You know, tomorrow's problems are tomorrow's problems. Like, don't get caught up on the hill thinking about, oh, tomorrow's massive and I'm tired. You know, there's no point. Too many things can change. So just deal with what's in front of you. Yeah, I think success very much for me looks like kind of focusing on where you want to end up. You know, the next chapter of whatever it is for you. Kind of letting an event like this direct you into what comes next, whatever that may be.